good evening, and a beautiful, warm welcome from South Africa. I'm Dr. Arthie Moore-Robberts, and it's my privilege to be talking on this International Teachers Leadership Summit. I think that one of the things is that the Neural Huda Foundation has put together some tremendous speakers talking into this important subject. The subject is, it's all about our children, it's all about our future, it's all about our generations that will grow because of the decisions we make today. And I think that it is an incredible way to talk into where we're heading, the vision we have. And being in Pakistan is such a gift right now. And I know a lot of people would not even see it that way, but when you look at teachers, they are sitting in an environment where they have the ability to interact powerfully, to change and adjust curriculum in a way that allows young people to grow. And I know that all of the trials and tribulations that people have are varied, and it is very real. The human experience that a lot of teachers are going through right now, the frustrations of curriculums not changing and not adjusting, the walls that you hit in these conversations, it's a reality. We have the exact same thing in our country. In fact, we've gotten to the point where our education system has been dumbed down so much so that they have put the pass rate at 30%. Now, can you imagine? It means that the system never adjusted to where kids need to grow. The system and curriculum was never even thoughtfully understood from the young people's perspective. It was integrated from the perspective that this is a situation that worked for many, many years, not even looking at the fact that our country's policies, the way that things have changed, have actually adjusted the way people need to be teaching curriculum. So if you look at the four aspects that this whole conference is about, the summit is very specific. Their aims, their objectives, the focus, every single thing is very, very specific. We're talking about the teachers as curriculum leaders. Now, that's a big one for me. It means that you've got to be a visionary leader, and that is a powerful way to start. So let's begin with teachers as curriculum leaders. What do you need to change, adjust, have courageous conversations about? And so when you look at it from that point of view, you then understand why we're talking about essential skills that is needed. Then you look at what are the in-demand skills that the young people are realistically needing in order to integrate themselves into real life experiences. When we talk about young people being work ready, but when you look at what we teach in schools, it is your life orientation, it is math, science, technology to a point. You've got history, you've got geography, you've got art, you've got speech and drama, and you've got other different programs that actually adds value to understanding how to memorize stuff, not how to actually integrate all of this into real life situations. Yes, I understand the foundational phases that education gives, but it needs a balance of something more. And I think that is what we need to actually talk into. And some of my ideas of where I'm heading and what I believe would actually add value to this conversational piece. The other area is rapid digitization. Now, that one is a powerful area to actually talk into. And I know that's going to make a lot of sense to you when I break it down in a way that you then realize the impact of where we're at right now with curriculum and what needs to be integrated differently. And so that one I will talk into in a deeper way. After that, we're going to talk about what we teach and how we teach, because that is going to talk about where you as a teacher, as a principal, as an educator, can take full responsibility in the development, in the empowerment, and the upliftment of the student, because you have looked at what is trending, what needs to be adjusted, and you change your methodologies within your classroom environment to upgrade your learners' ability to integrate this into their lives and make it practical. So I'll talk into some practical tools and work out what can we do differently as a collaborative partnership, look into global trends and bring it back into a platform where it can be integrated. Now, I know a lot of people will do motivational talks and say, you know what, this is what's missing in your life. This is what's missing in curriculum. And you walk away and you think, okay, but how do I implement it? Because then it becomes useless conversations where you just go to a summit and you hear all of these fantastic things, but the way that you integrate it makes a massive difference. We always talk about knowledge is power. However, applied knowledge is powerful. So we're going to look at what do we have control over as educators, and how can we actually add value into helping the student, the learner, and even their support structures around them. How do we even enable the parents, the caregivers, even the tutors to get to the point where they understand the child or the learner's point of view, where they need to develop, how you need to develop them, what their skills are, what their talents are, and what their passion is, and how do we actually build into that environment more powerfully. So I'm going to talk into essential in-demand skills, and I actually wrote down a number of things that would add massive value. Now, there's a number of points to actually delve into here, because when you talk about essential in-demand skills, you're talking about the reality of a young, educated learner leaving school and then going out into the real world. And the question we need to ask ourselves is, have we prepared this young mind for what they're about to encounter? And that is the difference between whether they have the confidence to walk into any environment and demand the type of job, the type of environment that they deserve. Remember, even as human beings, we always say that you need confidence in the way that you come across, the way you show up. First impressions are everything. The way that you hold yourself, the respect, the dignity, your presence speaks volumes about who you are as a human being. So what in-demand skills are we talking about? Because if we need to have our learners walk away from school knowing that they're fully equipped for the real world, what are the skills currently trending that they need to use right now? And I'm going to go into that in a few seconds. So the thing that I'm thinking into is skills development. Now, when we're talking about emerging trends, when I'm working with corporate companies, they're taking interns who've just come out fresh out of university or fresh out of high school. But they're always talking about, we need skills development programs to help them. I'm talking about people with disabilities. I'm talking about LGBTQI. I'm talking about people with various abilities. I'm talking about anybody and everybody who's just left school or university and are now going into a business environment. Now, I'm not talking about entrepreneurship because that is a very different engagement piece. I'm going to talk into the skills development that all companies are looking for. And I believe that if we integrated that into curriculum, it actually fast tracks the progress of the young leader to walk into any environment with confidence, knowing that they can get the job at the salary and the benefits that they deserve, because they know they're equipped already, and that the company doesn't have to actually put in the money or the resources or investment to get them to that stage or ability, because the schooling system has prepared them. And that's a big one. So when you look at it, skills development, I'm talking about conflict resolution techniques. How many young people don't have the ability to deal with and cope with their own emotional state of being, which means that emotional intelligence is a big one. When you look at conflict resolution techniques, what is the reality? When you are in a schooling system that teaches you only one way of thinking, and that is the one that has always been relevant, always been prevalent, but it is limited to only where they come from in terms of thinking, which means that we are at the point where we realize that having a voice is an integral part of engaging, communicating, and connecting at a very different level. And all of this adds to where we are going as a world. We talk about injustices, right? Everybody feels unheard. What is the human experience that people are looking for? They want to feel valued, honored, and respected as human beings, which means that we've got to give youngsters the tools to be able to stand up for themselves and not allow bullying in the workplace, not allowing themselves to feel discriminated against, giving them the tools and the ability to actually walk in with confidence and say, I'm sorry, my values does not resonate with the company's values, which means that I don't have to accept this job. Or they get to the point where they say, my value system is so high that I would love to help to guide and support the strategy of this company to a different level of interaction based on human behavioral values. So if you look at curriculum and emerging trends, what is taught in school needs to actually be in balance with the reality of what is expected in the business environment. And so when you get to that point, you realize that we need to, I think, challenge our thinking on a different level. And when we get to that point, we need to understand where business skills is an imperative. Allo is not one of those nice to haves. Life orientation is not a nice to have. It should be an imperative. Allo teachers or life orientation teachers shouldn't be having to fight for their right to teach life skills that youngsters actually need to engage and become successful going forward in the future. Which means that when a youngster goes into the work environment, because isn't that what the schooling system is developing young people for? It should be entrepreneurship, and it should be the business environment, should they choose that. So the choices needs to come down to two varied aspects, where a person is able to look at their talents and the gifts and confidence levels and then work out, do I want to be an entrepreneur? Do I have the skills, the knowledge, the tools, and the techniques to be able to have a successful conversation in that regard? Where do I go to? How do I understand conferencing? How do I understand networking? And so when you look at presentation skills, the ability to stand up and present either your idea or to present in a boardroom or to present to team members. You see, presentation skills are a massive thing, which means that in your curriculum, the ability to create a stunning PowerPoint presentations, from graphics to links to videos to innovative methodologies of presenting with confidence, should be in curriculum. It's a no-brainer. And then you get to the point where you understand how to build confidence and trust with people who are not of your culture, not of your religion, not from your country. How do you connect and become a global citizen? So when we're looking at emerging trends, business is now open worldwide. You are not limited to the country or even the province or the city you come from. Even if you are in the same country, you can go cross-functionally across your different cities and provinces to open up business, to open up collaborative partnerships, to connect. But it takes a very different way of understanding business in that way. And so when you look at global communication, we're talking into things that youngsters are not given access to in terms of understanding. When you look at paradoxical leadership, not even CEOs understand what that means. The simplicity of that is think global, but act local. That is how schooling systems should be. They should be looking at global trends, but acting locally according to the culture and the religion and what is an imperative in terms of the value system, but then also realizing that values-based leadership is the key to giving youngsters the ability to integrate all of the social development skills, all of the in-demand skills that is needed when they leave, even to get to the point where it affects their relationships, either in their personal relationships, their family relationships, or in the business environment. Now, can you imagine if a youngster does not have the coping mechanisms of what a strong, beautiful, incredible relationship is about? If there is an understanding that either I should be subservient and I should be the one who is always making decisions, there already is an imbalance in thinking. You see, confidence building, even in relationships, makes a massive difference, because behaviors at home actually seeps into the work environment, of why you would find that young people do not cope very well with criticism. That's why I said conflict resolution techniques and coping mechanisms are an important thing. So when you get to that point where you realize self-care should be integrated as an integral part in curriculum, it's because this allows youngsters to have a voice, but from a platform that is giving them the ability to engage meaningfully with people. And so when you look at collaborative thinking, it's the ability to upgrade the mindset so powerfully that they understand the value that they bring to the world. If you have confident children, confident youngsters, confident young leaders, they learn and understand what self-development, empowerment, and self-leadership plays as a role in their development going forward. And that is why you will get to the point where you find that these young minds create the innovation that they need. Which brings me to the next point of rapid digitization and the impact that it has. When you look at, we're doing the seminar via Zoom, and this is interactive, and it's across the globe. We are not limited to learning only about the education system in Pakistan. We're looking at how we can actually challenge the way things are done on a human level, which means there's no borders. Education without borders, we are not limited. We're looking at how we can add value to each other. So when you look at digitization, in order to do this Zoom recording, I had to understand the technology. I needed to understand the hardware. I needed to understand stage presence. I needed to understand where to look, how to project my voice, how to speak into you as an audience, because you are on the receiving end of a digital interaction. But I needed to be concise. I needed to have my notes. I needed to have preparation. I needed to know exactly what the theme and topic was. I had to prepare. And so I know and understand that to be on this platform is a privilege, but to just arrive and not know what I'm going to talk into limits my ability to have any influence or to guide you in a meaningful way, which means that if I did not prepare, it would show me as a speaker that is not worthwhile listening to. And see, that is what I'm talking about. When we're talking about the skills that is needed in rapid digitization, most things are going hybrid. In fact, it already has over the last 2 years. Interactions in the business environment is now either online, in work, face-to-face, or it is a combination. So even if you had a conference, you would also have a hybrid conversation where you've got people online. How do we adjust to that? You see, that is life skills. And when you look at it, you need to understand the reasoning behind coding and gaming and the impact that it has on young people. It's giving them the interaction with people that they have not understood or know and understand. And they're connecting with them using technology to the best of their ability. Now, if we gave them the foundational understanding and the skills to use it effectively, what we're doing is we're encouraging them to use technology to their benefit. And so when you look at all of the different areas, it's behavioral science. You're talking about online connection. You're talking about getting to the point where they can create infographics. They can use webinars. They need to realize how to put conferences. They need to understand how to create courses and development from their own wisdom, their own experiences, and how to engage with audiences in that way. And so when you look at it, it creates a different type of collaboration where they don't have to know every single thing. They need to have a marketing team. They need to understand TikTok. They need to understand SEO, search engine optimization. They need to understand what the social media trends are. They need to use Twitter effectively. But more than that, they also now need to understand how to use LinkedIn to be more effective. And you see, when you create your profile on LinkedIn, people will find you based on the keywords, on the AdWords, on the Google trends. All of those adds up to the emerging rapid digitization and how you need to utilize that in curriculum. Now, most of the teachers don't even know some of this stuff. And that is why when you get to the point of what we teach, and you think about it, it's old school curriculum that's been adjusted slightly. Yes, it has been adjusted slightly. but is it relevant is the question. So how we teach should be accelerated learning. It should be methodologies that are interactive, where you look at self-learning. The self-learning revolution is a brilliant one, where you're actually bringing self-learning to the kids using technology. And when you look at innovation and you look at how to include their voices in making decisions that works in their favor, we're then bringing them into the development of curriculum. We do not have to sit in the forefront of developing curriculum where we think we know everything from a youngster's point of view. They're evolving so rapidly, we have not changed or evolved to match them. That's the difference. And so it makes sense to get youngsters to develop curriculum, bring them into these conversations and ask them, what skills do you need? And then you work out as a collaborative. How do we build this? How do we create this? Who do we need to partner with? How can we collaborate to create this curriculum? And if government and the education departments do not buy into it and do not care enough about the future of our youngsters, we take it upon ourselves as teachers, as parents, as community, as corporate companies, as development agencies, as international partners, bringing these things to youngsters on a platform that allows them to engage using YouTube videos, using the WhatsApp videos, using technology to help them to still build these skills, regardless of whether your curriculum is going to change anytime soon or not. Stop fighting a battle where people are always the roadblock. Use people who are not the roadblock to create a detour around all of these things to help you to create something more powerful for our youngsters in the future. Now, I know I've spoken into so many things, but my parting words is that teachers as curriculum leaders need to know one thing as I finish off, is that you're not alone, and you don't have to be alone in this. You can create collaborative partnerships with other teachers around the world, learn what they're doing, study from them, engage with them, build your repertoire of understanding, build your skills, techniques, and your technological understanding, and then use that to have meaningful conversations with young people, and then build it with them, alongside them, because they are going to be in the receiving end of your curriculum and your teaching methods. Why not ask them to be part of the development stages of it? And that is why teachers as curriculum leaders are actually visionary leaders. Know and understand the difference. And as a visionary leader, you are more inclusive, and you use empathy and compassion and understanding for what is happening right now. How can you engage and with respect include the voices of young people? And therein lies the opportunity. Empathy is the emotion, compassion is the behavior. Use a combination of the both to have courageous conversations with other teachers, with other faculty members, and people across the world, and watch how you will fly. And from my side, I want to say thank you for this amazing opportunity to engage, to add value to all of you here, and to know that, at the end of the day, you always have got choice. You are unlimited in your ability to impact people, to guide and support people, and know that, where you're coming from. Have self-compassion for yourself. Know that you deserve self-care as well before you can add value to everybody else. Know and understand that in order to have empathy for the people around you, you need to understand at a deeper level where they're coming from and raise them up to the level that you believe that they deserve to go to. And the only way to do that is to raise your level, raise the bar for yourself. Give yourself the opportunity to attend webinars and courses. Go and upgrade your technical skills. Go and understand software and technology so you have the right conversation in the most meaningful way. You see, when you get to that point, you realize that your decisiveness by focusing intentionally allows you the opportunity to grow in the most powerful way, but you are not alone. And so I want to say thank you to the Nur Al Huda Foundation, to all of the beautiful, incredible souls that put this conference together, and for you, the audience, for listening and for taking notes and just for being there. I want to say thank you. I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I look forward to hearing more from you, whatever your questions are. just reach out